Hi everybody, welcome back to Midvale Minis. Today I am finishing up my book Nook. I made a lot of alterations to the original design, and this photo is where I left off in my last video. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut out these teensy tiny little labels that I printed. They are for the filing cabinet, and they actually do read A through D, E through H, etc. You can't see it, but I promise you they actually do say that. Next, I'm attaching them to each one of the drawers. And that's what it's looking like so far. My next step is to make some little handles. They provide you with these little wooden pieces, but I really didn't like them, so I decided to make my own black, tiny little handles. They are extremely fiddly. I cut out most of the footage, but they did go all over the place, and yeah. But I like the look of it. My next step was to cut out the seed packets that I had scanned into my computer. These are actually seeds that I have for my real garden outside, and I scaled them down and glued them as if they were popping out of the drawers in the filing cabinet. Next, I took some of the pieces that were left over from the project, and I used some of them as decoration as well. There was another book that I had not used, so I decided to cut out a piece of cardboard and use that as the book basis. The piece is adhesive, so I just attached the spine part first to the edge of the cardboard and then folded it over. Super simple, and using pieces of trash to make treasure. All good. So I really like it at the top in that little wooden rectangular piece. I think it looks really, really cute there, but it needs something else. So I played around with a few things. I put the little flower pot that came with the kit. Wasn't crazy about it. I had this miniature clipboard, which is really awesome. I absolutely love it. I think it's made out of metal. So I cut out a piece of paper, cut it to the right size, and then glued it on. Next, I made another book, and along the edge, you'll see that it has this little like dotted line. I don't know what that's supposed to be for, but I wasn't crazy about the look of the dotted line, so I decided to take my Sharpie and my ruler and fill in the dotted line, making it one solid line instead. And here's what it looks like now. I put the filing cabinet back inside the book nook just so you could get an idea of what it might look like. And then, of course, I had to make my to-do list on the clipboard. This was actually really fun. I love little details like this. Another thing that I did that is not called for in the kit is I decided to color in all of the areas that had been laser cut, so the dark wood showing through. I painted it all the white color so that it all sort of matches and blends in. Here you can see the right side is done and the left side still needs to be painted. Here you can see all the dark lines along the edges, along the window, etc. Next, I decided to take the pieces that go on the bottom and create bricks instead of the lines that they had there. So I measured everything out. Turns out that the piece is exactly 1 inch. So I went every 1/4 inch and made 4 rows of bricks. Then I made the bricks 1/2 inch wide and measured everything out 1/2 inch, staggering them on each row. Here are the colors that I used in my bricks. Several different shades of red, 2 shades of brown, 1 shade of orangey, and 1 shade of burgundy. And then I just sort of used red as the most. I did every other one in red just because I felt like that was a good basis for the brick wall. I did try to cover the lines that are printed onto that area. They are etched into that white piece. Here's what it looks like with all of the bricks colored in. Next, I added a very light gray as my cement in between the bricks. I did go back and clean it up and make it look a lot smoother than it looks here, but this gives you an idea of the process. And here are all of my brick pieces done. I really love how that came out, and I am so much happier with that than how it looked before. Next, I decided to make the words garden house pop, It's right now a sort of a goldish color. It doesn't really stand out. So I took my black Sharpie and I colored it in. You may recall in one of my previous videos that I put this wire in along the railing so that I could then put in some kind of floral swag. And so that's what I'm going to do today. I left the side of the building off and I'm going to glue on these little green plastic pieces for the foliage, and then I'm going to use those roses as the accent. So I used my hot glue gun and glued on the green foliage, and now I am cutting the roses off of the wire and gluing them on as well. And here's what it's looking like so far. And there it is, the finished product. So quick. Just kidding. The last piece to the puzzle is creating the flowers that actually go into the book nook. Now these pieces are meant to be rolled up. That little piece at the bottom, you can see it's supposed to sort of roll, but I didn't like that look. So I added wire to the bottom of those, and these I didn't add wire to. I felt like they were okay by themselves, but I did cut them apart. And I got this air dry clay from Crayola. It was in the kids section of Michael's. It's very spongy feeling, but it does dry. If you leave it out, it will air dry, so you can have your little kids do their projects. But it also comes in colors. It's a lot less expensive than regular air dry clay, and it comes in colors. So I got brown so that it would look like dirt. Then I put each one of the pieces into the air dry clay, arranged them a few times, added some little dabs with my tweezers to make it look like actual dirt, and then left it to dry. I really like this big plant. It looks very well done. It looks almost like a banana plant. I'm not sure kind of what plant it's supposed to be, but I really liked the look of it. And I got them all into the quote dirt and arranged them. I kept putting it back into the book nook just to make sure that it fit where I wanted it to go. And of course the sides are missing at this point in time, so I wanted to make sure everything fit before the clay dried. Got everything where I liked it, and then realized I felt like it was too tall. So I pulled everything out, shortened it all, and put them all back in again. definitely like this length much better. And here's what it's looking like. I have the one plant outside on the stoop. I have a watering can, my clipboard, a little shovel, another plant there. You'll see it later, but there's a box underneath with some empty pots. There's my flowers going up the side of the railing there. Another plant with my filing cabinet, the big plant in the back, the chair, all the things over here, another flower pot, and that's it. So let me spin it around so you can get the full effect with the brick on the bottom, what it looks like inside. I have a shovel leaning up against the wall in there, just a little few details. And of course my working lights, which just tickles me to death. This is the back. Now the other side, you can see I painted in all those lines. Now there's no brown. Everything is colored in white. It all matches. I did leave 2 pieces of this little pop-out window. I thought the hinges could stay brown. I thought that looked nice. And I love how my brick lines up completely because I measured it out. So it lines up perfectly all the way around. There's only one thing missing. If this were my actual garden space, I'd have to have a black hoodie. Yes, a black hoodie. I couldn't believe I found this on Etsy. And even though I'm trying to do it one-handed, it does unzip. Check out the quality of this. It's got working pockets. It's got a drawstring, which I felt was a little too long, so I actually did end up cutting it a little bit. But it's just so cool. And look at the sleeves. The sleeves are perfect. I don't know how this person did it. Absolutely amazing and not expensive. And there it is on the back of the chair, just like it would be in real life. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I did. See you in the next video. Bye.